Australia, like much of the world, was in freefall. The Great Depression had sunk its teeth into every street, every wallet, every soul. Banks collapsed, jobs vanished, hopes were rationed like bread and dignity. In a time when every man seemed broken and every day a battle, the people needed something, anything to believe in. And that belief came on 4 legs. Before he was legend, he was nothing more than an awkward, gangly colt, bought on a whim, mocked for his looks, and nearly sent to slaughter before his story even began. This is the story of Phar Lap, the horse that carried a nation. He was born in the quiet fields of Timaru, under the name that few remember, Bobby. A big-headed chestnut foal with wobbly legs and a heart 3 sizes too large. From the start, Phar Lap wasn't much to look at. His coat was dull, his gait clumsy, and yet, within him, something stirred, something restless, uncontainable. Trainer Harry Telford couldn't afford him, not really, but something in the colt's bloodlines stirred his instinct. When Phar Lap stepped off the boat in Sydney, his new owner nearly backed out. Too ugly, they said. But Telford made a bold offer. Let me train him. I'll cover the costs. You keep the winnings, the horse nobody wanted, the gamble that would rewrite history. He wasn't just a stable boy. He was the beating heart behind a horse nobody believed in, Tommy Woodcock. A kid with calloused hands, a crooked smile, and an unshakable bond with a creature that most thought useless. Day after day, Tommy talked to Phar Lap like a brother, treated him not as property, but as a partner. And the horse responded, with everything he had. His first few races were forgettable, disappointments even. But then magic something clicked. By the end of 1929, Phar Lap had gone from a laughingstock to a name whispered in every pub in the country. He was rising, and so was the nation's hope. He wasn't just a horse anymore, he was a symbol of hope, of survival, of everything Australia needed to believe in. The 1930 Melbourne Cup. They tried to handicap him with extra weight, changed race times, moved the odds, nothing stopped him. Phar Lap flew down that track like he was born for it, and when he crossed that finish line, Australia cried. To a nation brought to its knees, Phar Lap was more than an athlete, he was a miracle. But success brings enemies. 2 days before another big race, someone tried to shoot him. In public. No arrests, no leads. Phar Lap survived. He raced anyway, and he won. The threats were getting serious, bookies were furious, rivals resentful, and the whispers of poison and sabotage couldn't be ignored. So they left, to chase glory abroad and maybe find some peace. March 1932, Agua Caliente, Handicap, Mexico, the richest race in the world. Phar Lap stood on that track like he belonged to history. And then he ran. It was domination, no contest. He finished lengths ahead of the world's best. It was his final race and his final victory. The world had seen what Australia already knew. Phar Lap was unstoppable. Less than 2 weeks later, Phar Lap was dead. The official report said colic, but no one believed it. Not Tommy, not Harry, not Australia. Years later, hair samples revealed a terrible truth. Phar Lap had ingested a massive dose of arsenic before he died. Poisoned, silenced, gone. By who? No one knows. Sabotage, bookmakers, a rival syndicate. No one confessed, no one paid. The greatest horse the country had ever known. Lost, just as he'd reached the peak of his power. He had the biggest heart of any racehorse ever recorded. Literally, over 6 kilos, twice the normal size. And though he died in California, his pieces were brought home. His heart lies in Canberra. His hide in Melbourne. His skeleton in Wellington, New Zealand. 3 countries, 3 pieces, 1 legacy. He was more than a champion. He was the embodiment of a nation's grit. Phar Lap's name still echoes in museums, on playgrounds, in stories whispered at night. He ran when the world told him to stop, and in doing so, he gave us all something to believe in. The heart that carried a nation.